I get asked a lot how I do my makeup for work, so I thought I would come on today and do a little bit of a get ready with me. I've done videos on feminization before and building your girly routine, and it's something that I really enjoy. So I thought we would throw that into the mix and show you what I personally do. If you're new to feminization, it's basically just changing aspects about yourself to become more feminine. So it's not about changing your sexuality or gender, although those are things that can come depending on your personal preferences and where your journey takes you. But it's things that would be seen as typically, you know, more feminine, such as doing skincare even can be seen as quite feminine, or wearing a little bit of makeup, getting your nail polish done, even going for a spa day, watching, you know, like a chick flick, as people call them. So if you want to just indulge in things that are less stereotypically masculine, you know, there's nobody to say that you can. And if you want to decorate your whole home in pink, go for it. Fully support that. If I could paint this whole house pink, I would. I think my landlord would kill me. But yeah, just, you're not banned by society. Obviously it can be a bit intimidating to start with. You think people are going to notice things and they aren't. But I do find that a lot of people really want to experiment with stuff and they're kind of held back. So this is just how I do my makeup. I'm not professional, but maybe it'll give you some hints and tips. You can start. Oh, and if you haven't watched my other videos, fully recommend that you go and watch them. I will link them down below if I remember, and if I don't, somebody tell me in the comments because I'm very, very bad for not. Anyway, one of the things that I'm very big on in building your girly routine is taking time for yourself. And I think this is important for everyone, but I think your skincare routine or even like a little journaling routine is really, really fun. So a lot of men do not take very good care of their skin, and that cannot be denied. And a lot of that is due to kind of this pushback against, oh my god, that might be feminine, how dare you have soft skin? Where soft, healthy skin shouldn't be reserved for women. So one thing for all my subs, I'm like, cleanse your skin and moisturize, okay? As a minimum, sunscreen as well. So you can get a moisturizer for your face that has SPF in it. So I've got the ones that I use here. I use this Clinique Moisture Surge with SPF in it because I do have a separate sunscreen that I use if I'm going out, but sometimes I forget. And then this is sort of your base for the day. You should be topping up your sunscreen anyway, but you can just put this on in the morning and it's part of your routine. It's done, you don't need to remember a separate product. I also have under eye cream. I'll have like a moisture spray that I use, but my routine would be cleanse morning and night, use this during the day, and then I have like a serum that I use at night. You can obviously choose something less expensive. A lot of supermarkets or like high street drugstore brands will be very good. You can get obviously a cleanser moisturizer for under £5. Just try and keep something like unscented, and yeah, I would say unscented and quite neutral if you're new to it. But obviously experiment, read up on different ingredients and just kind of build what's good for your skin and you will notice a difference. So I'm very big on skincare and sunscreen protection, okay? You will look better, you'll feel better, you'll notice a difference. Says the person who's looking a mess right now, but okay. Let's go into my makeup routine. So this is going to be a little bit heavier than what I would wear every day, and something I would say if you're getting into makeup, do this at home if you're not confident being outside. My other video was very much about how to wear makeup and it not be seen. This isn't as dark as I would do for studio lighting. I do have lights on obviously at home, but I'm not taking something that's like really, really bright and bright flashes and everything. So I have a primer. So this one is from the Beauty Crop, and this is quite tacky. I've actually put a little bit too much on, but just rub that all over. And this just gives you a good tacky base for your foundation to stick on. So I would do that. I don't always put a base on. I find the sunscreen that I use is actually like quite tacky in itself. So if I do the separate sunscreen, I don't do that. Oh, and a point is always let your moisturizer sink into your skin before you do makeup, otherwise it might break up. So, right, then I use L'Oreal True Match. This is in 1N. I'm very pale, so I'm using this flat brush. I sometimes use a beauty blender, but when I'm doing like videos, I feel like it goes on a little bit heavier with a brush. You also have the option, obviously when you're putting it on your skin, I put it on the back of my hand because you don't want to be double dipping. You can kind of like dab it on your skin and then blend it. I actually meant to fix my eyebrows before I did this, but I haven't, so whatever. We'll just deal with them not being quite right. I go over my skin like that, and then I just kind of dab more on if I have any redness. So what you should probably do is do a colour correcting concealer. However, I don't have a good concealer, so I'm not using that. But yeah, so I just tap it in over the redness and kind of let that go. So yeah, in terms of people wearing makeup, I think one of the things that puts people off is the idea that somebody might catch them or might laugh at them, or, you know, that there might be, oh my goodness, like someone's going to see that I'm wearing like lip gloss, or they're going to see that I'm wearing mascara or whatever. And what I would say to that is, yeah, some people will notice. But in general, I mean, we've moved so far forward that it's a lot more common for men to wear makeup now, just in general. Even for like straight cis man wear makeup. I think we're at a point now that you will actually help yourself if you just do what makes you happy. So when you're on your feminization journey, one of the things that I always recommend is to take it quite slowly. So I'm going to do my eyes next. I'm using this palette, but I kind of want like a more shiny eyeshadow base. So I'm going to use this highlighter, and then I'm just going to like lightly put it on. Like I say, I'm not doing a very heavy look today. So yeah, with feminization, a lot of people go too hard into it. So I spoke about this in my other video, but it's almost like a frenzy stage where you're finally getting, you know, like this this like feeling of what you've been searching for. You're getting validation, you're feeling very much yourself, and you want more and more and more. And you end up going too fast. And then what happens, oh yeah, I'm using like just a matte shade on my actual eye because I'm gonna go and do more. It'll all work out with the makeup, by the way, guys. Anyway, so people tend to go too fast when they are going into feminization, and you know, they'll be like, okay, they'll get some makeup and then they'll get some outfits and they'll be like, oh my god, I love this, which yeah, it's great that you love it, but then they'll push themselves too far. You know, they'll start like, they'll buy so much and then they'll tell their friend and then maybe have one bad reaction, or they maybe go out in public and they have one bad reaction. And I think because your perception of yourself isn't very solid, at that point you're still not very sure of who you are and you're experiencing something new, that it can be quite hard. And it's not always that someone even gives you a bad reaction. It can even be, you know, like you see something on TV or you see some media that just puts you back a step, and that can be enough. And sometimes it's just an internal struggle. I think there obviously is the point that like maybe you have a bad experience, or you know, you've seen some media or whatever, but I think quite often it's just because you have this internalized guilt. This also happens with people exploring their gender and sexuality, not just like their femininity, but I do find, especially if you're somebody who is very heteronormative or has been their whole life, and then starts becoming more feminine, starts exploring things, especially I find as well that a lot of people in their past have been, you know, like maybe you're experimenting with having sex with people of the same gender. So you've previously been homophobic, and because you have been, it then, you know, like that plays on your mind and you're thinking, oh my god, like all these views that I had, especially people who've been brought up in strict households. I find a lot of people that I work with, they have like quite religious backgrounds, and they're very, very scared of what their family would think or their friends, sort of thing. So that all kind of plays into it, where I think it's just being very secure in yourself. So this all kind of like builds up, and if you go too fast and you don't take a step back and reflect on yourself, which is why I always say, like, have like a little diary or even just notes on your phone. Like, you don't even need to read them again, but it's good just to sit down for 5 minutes, nothing else, and just think about like, okay, I'm feeling like this right now. Write it down. It's done. Okay. So yeah, a lot of people will then go into a purging cycle. So it's kind of like this frenzy purge. And then once you purge, you'll feel guilt and shame, and then you'll eventually come back to it. And what you want to do is try and stop yourself from going into that cycle. So it's, I say that like it's easy, obviously it's not. I'm looking for my brush. I have a brush that I want to use. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so you want to try and stop that cycle. You want to give yourself time to breathe, time to think, but what you don't want to do is to feel like, you know, I was so happy, I was really enjoying this, something happened, or it was just, you know, like something mentally, whether it was work, whether it was just a difficult time within a relationship, then set you back. So what you want to do is, I always say, if you do feel like throwing your stuff out, get yourself a box, put everything in a box. Put it in the back of a cupboard, put it in your car, give it to a friend, like whatever it is, suitcase, storage, whatever, do not throw it out. Just put it away, out of sight, and go, okay, if I don't want this in a month, I'll put it out. And I can guarantee you, after a couple days of that like mental space for yourself, you'll feel so much better, and you'll have so much more clarity, and you'll be glad that you didn't. So this happens with everything. This happens with like chastity, with like feminization. A lot of subs, it's called sub drop, when it happens after a session. But a lot of people, you have that high and then the low. I wonder what colour to go for. I've gone for like kind of a more pinky base, but I think I'm gonna go for like, maybe I'll do like quite a dark purple or brown. Just do brown. We'll just go for like quite a classic dark, like yeah. So yeah, the whole sub drop thing, especially when you're having like these elevated feelings of, you know, like joy and whatever, and if you are doing sessions, you are buying content, you are pushing yourself to like new limits, etc., that's all something that you need to kind of like give yourself time to mentally process. It's almost like moving to a new country, you know, like you have that kind of like, oh, I'm enjoying this, and then you have kind of like culture shock, and then you enjoy it, and then, you know, you kind of like, you need to get used to it. So you have this time of like, oh, this is good, and then you're like, I hate this. And then you kind of come around to like this new way of living. So it's just allowing yourself that time to adapt. Like I say, I can honestly say this all the time, and there's no such thing as failing. When it's your own personal journey, like you can't fail at your own journey, you know? Like, there's lots of things that you can fail at. I'm not going to be like, you can't fail at doing something. I mean, you can fail an exam, like, you know what I mean? But your life isn't a fucking exam. So yeah, as long as you're doing things that are ultimately going to make you happy, and you're like, even if you try something and you don't like it, or you change your mind in a few months, that's fine as well. So yeah, it's just, I honestly go on about this. So it happens a lot in chastity that people wear their cage, they'll be really enjoying it, and then they're like, they can't resist their urges, and they take the cage off and they're like, oh my god, I failed. They run away, they delete everything, delete all their accounts, and it doesn't actually do you any benefits long term. So I think one of the other things is that obviously I typically work with straight men. Not always, and I would guess if you're watching this video you're not entirely straight, but who knows, because I must say my audience is 99% male. However, if you're watching this and your algorithm sent you it, I don't think you're straight, purely because we are a queer channel. Potentially. I mean, you might, I'm not going to tell you what you are, but you might. Anyway. What was I talking about? I can't even remember. I'm just calling you gay. I'm just calling you out. But yeah, oh yeah, so I typically work with like straight men. So, or people who at least present themselves as like straight cis man in their everyday life. A lot of people are just very into that role, and I'm not saying there's this sort of like stereotype that, oh, everyone who goes into like submission has like a high power role and they're like a lawyer or something. No, like, but if you have a very, very straight role in your everyday life, and then you go home and you're wearing like panties and dresses and doing your makeup, that sort of disconnect between the two can be quite hard to manage, especially if you're hiding it in your everyday life. So yeah, what I was going to say is that typically like men aren't like taught to express their feelings and like sort of reflect on themselves, which a lot of people do struggle to reflect on themselves. So it's something you have to work on. But yeah, it's being able to like communicate. So I always go on about communication. It's like a lot of men struggle to communicate because it's almost like, this is feminine. So yeah, your girly feminization journey will be learning to communicate. Learning your own boundaries, because something I've realised really recently is that a lot of people who don't respect other people's boundaries, it's because they don't have a good grasp on their own. So because they aren't able to set their own boundaries and have them respected, they're therefore not able to respect others. Which, I don't know why it took me so long to realise that, but the more that I've been experiencing boundary pushers recently, it has been because they've not understood their own boundaries, or they've been letting people back into their life who don't respect them, etc. So there is that, and I think in order to fully understand your own boundaries, you have to really think about what makes you happy. And I mean, there is always a bit of give and take with boundaries. I mean, there's hard limits and there's soft limits, and there's things that, you know, I never want to be involved with that, and there's things that you think, okay, maybe for the right person. For example, right, I would never bungee jump. I'd have no interest in bungee jumping. Never gonna happen, right? I don't care. I don't have a desire to. And it's not the falling. I just don't want the bounce back, okay? Not gonna happen. Somebody who's like, do you want to jump off a cliff into water, right? I'd be like, not really. But then I'd be like, okay, everyone else is doing it and it's a safe depth, etc. Do you want to dive off a massive dive board? Maybe, okay? Maybe. So it's that sort of thing. I love how it's just turned into a massive ramble as I do my makeup. So I said I didn't have good concealer. This one's actually fine. It just doesn't go very well with this foundation base. I'll show you how I would do it. It might split up a little bit on my skin. You can also, I mean, the thing with concealer is that it'll be a different formulation to your general foundation. It's normally a bit, well, it can either be lighter or thicker, but it's slightly different formulation. which means it's just more suited to your eye area generally. I think this is a concealer brush. Yeah. So you can tap it in with your fingers, you can use a brush, you can use a beauty blender. So you've got two options for beauty blenders. You can either do them wet or dry. So if you do them wet, it's generally the way that I do them, but you can use them dry if you like that. So yeah, I'm just kind of tidying up the makeup. Yeah, I actually saw a post from somebody on Instagram on the whole like men not being very good at like dealing with themselves. So they were like, what's the best punishment for the sub? And they were like, ignore them so that they have to deal with their feelings alone, like if they've been naughty. And I'm like, that is true. That is true. If they're naughty, they should have to come to terms with their own feelings. So guys, here's a point actually. So I've got a spot on my nose and I am not going to put this concealer on it because it's lighter. I love how this is half makeup tutorial and half me talking about you're gonna be girly. So I've taken a dab of like my own foundation. It is on the same brush as the concealer, but that's fine. Right, so I'm just gonna put that there. I'm gonna let that dry and I'm gonna try and remember to blend it in. But anyway, I'll let that dry a little bit in and I'll blend it after. So next thing is, you guys are always asking, eyeliner. So yeah, for my makeup, I'm just doing quite, well, it's not super natural, but it's just like a kind of shimmery base, a light, lighter brown, actually, what I would normally do. So this has like different stuff in it that you can use. So I'm probably gonna go for this one. I'm just gonna dip my finger in it and I'm just gonna like tap it over just to give it like a bit more shimmer to match in with like that base. So quite often shimmery eyeshadows are better if you use your fingers, just because of like what they're made with. This palette that I have actually has different textures. It's got like some gel in it and stuff, so it's a fun palette, but it's quite expensive, so I don't know if I'd recommend it for somebody who's like experimenting. I'd probably say something like maybe like Revolution, who do like copies of these palettes, very similar, do lots of different shades, or yeah, just something that you can experiment with. I was running out of one of these, so I got a new one, but it hadn't finished, and then I couldn't find it, so I opened the other one. Now I don't know which one's which, so I'm trying to work out which one's which. I might actually do black, to be fair. Okay, this is the newer one, and I've got this one as well. So I really like these Stila ones. Stila. I've used them for ages. You actually get ones that have two different ends. So this is the big end, but you get one that has like a super fine tip. They're really cool. This is from Rimmel. I just picked it up. It's a felt tip as well. I used to use gel and then I would have like a little silicone tool to pull it out. I use these now because they're super fast. I think I might do the black just so you can see it better. What else can we say about your feminization journey? Yeah, it's all at your own pace. So I just do like a little line like that, and then I just bring it back in. So I don't know if you can see on here, but like if you do that, I don't know, depend if you have hooded eyes or like or not. But yeah, you basically have like a little kind of line at the corner of your eye that I follow, and I just pull it so that it's like easier to draw on, and then I just go in like that. So they're fairly similar. This one's a little bit shorter, so I just go back in very lightly. They don't need to be perfect. This is when they end up getting thicker and thicker. Yeah, that's a bit. And what you could do as well is take like a cotton bud. Really, this is where I mess up my eyeliner, so yeah. I wanted quite a heavy look today, to be fair, when I decided I was going for the black, so that's fine. So you can do your eyeliner like how I did it to start with, just to the middle, just for a little flick. You can get like a little pencil and you can lift your eyelashes up like this and rub it on the inside. That's also a good plan. Like this, you can probably see there's like a slight gap. Let's see if I can find a pencil. I'll show you what I mean. Getting all the works today. I normally do my makeup a lot faster than this. I couldn't actually find a pencil, so hopefully this one's okay. I got this in one of these gift box things. They're not really gift box. It's kind of like brands will do like a pack. So what am I trying to describe? I think you know what I'm trying to describe. It's like a monthly subscription, or it'll be like a bundle, and it'll be all different brands, and it'll be like £10 a month, and you'll get like some full size, some samples. Those are actually quite good if you're experimenting. I think like Look Fantastic I used to get mine from. This is from Christmas. I got a bundle, a little box of stuff. It had like a little eyeshadow palette in it, and then different pencils and pens and whatever. So yeah, this is not the best. Maybe this might be a little bit soft. This is gel. So normally I'd use like a proper pencil. So this, yeah, actually it's not too bad. I thought it was going to be super soft. So what I would do, you can do this with or without the eyeliner, is just like draw the inside and obviously be like quite gentle. And what it'll do, this is actually a really good thing to do if you just want your eyelashes to look thicker but you don't want to like necessarily wear makeup. So yeah, just like filling in that line. And then you can bring it like right into the waterline if you want. And then what I'm gonna do is like a little bit there. So this is on the outside of my eye, not the inside. There's obviously different techniques you can use for eyeliner, for underneath. One thing I do think looks quite good, maybe I'll just show you. Okay, so if you do have quite a heavy, actually I'm gonna pat this, see if we can make it disappear. Yeah, I don't think it's helped. This spot on my nose is just like, nope, we're not going to be hidden, whatever. Whatever, worth a try. So, yeah, one thing I do think can look quite good is if you get like, what brush should I use? I kind of want one like this but smaller, because I'm going to do something underneath. So I think I'm going to use this one. And then what you can do, I used this shade for like the outer corner when I dabbed it on, so I kind of want to use one a little bit lighter but still brown. So I'm going to use this one. If I had one that was in between, I would do. And then you can just like blend it right down. So I'm not really pulling, I'm just holding my face for balance. And bring it like quite low. And it gives you like more of a smoky look. So yeah, obviously you can go darker than this, but I would usually use like a mid shade. It depends how heavy you want your eye makeup to be, but yeah, you can bring it lower. like that. You can also, I love how this just turned into whatever. You can use like this brush and or something that's quite fine. You get ones like these, which are just like a flat brush that you could draw a straight line with. Loads of different stuff. You also get like blending brushes, so if you're not happy with your makeup, I would just say blend it out a bit. I think that is my eyes done, apart from the mascara. So, girly stuff you can do. I love how I'm like, this is actually the longest it's taken me to do makeup in forever. Better still be bloody watching or I'll fight you. I was actually planning to show you how I would have fixed my eyebrows on camera, but I did my makeup and I forgot. So I have like little face razors. So what I would do, I would like, so you can see I've got some little hairs. So I would like just gently take them off the end, pluck any strays, and then like to the middle. I would take like a little brush and I would just do that, like not too close, and then brush them up. Yeah, so I'm not going too close. I'm just tidying them up a little bit. And then if they were like sticking up at the top, I would just snip, snip, snip. But yeah, that is that. Yeah, God. The whole early routine thing though. Honestly, I see like a lot of pushback towards it. And I don't really know why. I think there's a lot of talk about, oh my god, you can't do this, it invalidates trans women. Like, being on a feminization journey and being trans, although you can be trans and a lot of people do find out that the more they start exploring their girly side, like, okay, I actually feel more comfortable as a woman. Like, there is a percentage of people, but it's not invalidating somebody else's journey to explore your own. It really annoys me when they're like, men can't wear skirts because what about trans women? Like, trans women aren't men, so let men wear what they want to wear, you know what I mean? Like, just, there's so many excuses, and I'm just like, when you get into this whole thing about like, oh, you have to look this way to wear this, you have to look that way to wear this, you know, like, oh, this cis woman isn't hot enough to wear that dress. Like, fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. Oh, you're too fat, you're too thick. Like, fuck off. Honestly, I'm probably gonna get demonetized for saying fuck off. You know what? It's too fucking late now. But yeah, it's something that annoys me a bit. And I think as well, like, it comes from as well people not really understanding, like, there is the kink community as well, obviously. So there is like a difference between like someone who's doing this as a lifestyle, someone who it's their gender or their sexuality that they're exploring versus like making yourself more feminine. And then there's also like sissification and just play. So it depends how you want to explore it. And on the whole sissy thing, people are like, oh my god, it's men dressing up in women's clothing and degrading them, right? I would say that is a very, very small percentage of people who do it for that. I think the reason that a lot of people, because obviously like there's free use fantasy and like straight prawns, trying to say the monetization, maybe too late. But yeah, there's this whole thing of like people being promiscuous and slutty in straight media. That's fine. The second you take it and it's like not straight, then it becomes an issue. So I don't necessarily think that it's aimed towards women. Like, it's aimed towards their own insecurity and their sexuality and their presentation. So I don't think it's really to do with that. I think there is obviously like patriarchal societies do put down femininity, you know, like women in general, but I don't think that somebody wearing the underwear is to do with them hating women. I think it's to do with their own view of themselves and being, there is obviously a power dynamic, And yet women are seen as being less strong typically. But there's too much to go into. There is too much to go into, and I haven't done my eyebrows yet. So, yeah, I think when we start trying to pick apart, like, the kink scene, which is obviously different because kink doesn't have to make you comfortable. It's up to everyone to do their own thing. But people are perfectly entitled just to do, you know, like a little bit of role play, a little bit of change. Because if you think about someone being like gender fluid, you could even say that somebody who just is becomes feminine when they're a sub, like that's part of their gender fluidity. And then we could go into my whole thing of like subs don't have a gender when they're actively submitting, which people are always like, oh my god, you can't say that they don't have a gender. But I'm like, to me, when you're actively in the role, that is who you are, you embody your submission. Can someone do an interview with me about why subs aren't people when they're being subs? Honestly, my most controversial opinion, probably. It's not even controversial because it's my interpretation of like the dynamic between two people. But yeah, I think when you're actively submitting, your everyday persona is not there, and you're able to explore different things, which is one of the reasons that people do experiment more with their gender and sexuality. And then there's a lot of people as well who will, like, talking about men again, so they'll be a straight man, but when they're submitting, they'll have sex with men, but they're not gay. If you're not queer and you're not on the kinks and you're not understanding this, it's okay. It's fine. Process it. It's fine. You can have sex with somebody of the same gender and not be gay. It depends on the emotion behind that. Like, are you sexually attracted to the same gender? Or are you just doing it because you're in, like, your power play? Or, mindfuck, right? So, if you're a straight man in your everyday life, and then when you become a sub, you're like, so my theory is you're just a sub because you're a sub. But, like, you become a woman when you're a sub. And you have sex with a man, right? When you go back to being a straight man in your everyday life, you're not gay. But then when you're like a sub, you're also not gay because you're not. I'm gonna watch this back and I'm gonna be like, damn. We're getting deep here. We're getting deep. We're getting deep doing the makeup, and god, 40 fucking minutes. It's, honestly, honest god, longest time it's ever taken me to do my makeup in months. Told you were gonna get a ramble. A ramble. A waffle. I wonder if anyone's actually going to watch the end. If you're still watching, comment. Vroom vroom. I don't even know if you can hear that car that just went past. Hopefully you can. If not, I'll just look like a bloody maniac. What's different there? Right. What was I going to do? What I'm looking for. You're getting the whole shebang. This honestly normally takes me like 5 minutes. Just slap it on. But we're having a lovely chat about our feminization journey and stuff. So I'm using these 3/4 lashes. I've not actually used these ones before. You can reuse your lashes if you're careful with them. But these were a pack of 3. So I just like... just put a little bit on there. Oops. Or attempt to, so I'll do that. This is just a glue that came in the pack. You can get your own one as well. You also get black. This is clear, so sometimes you can have to go over this once you put it on. So whatever. Anyway, your girly journey. So I think that you're kind of like, obviously best take it slow. But I genuinely feel like changing things in your environment. So, you know, like getting yourself some candles or some books that you've wanted to read, or, you know, like changing your bedding to something that's a bit more stereotypically girly. Getting yourself some flowers. And I know you might be watching, oh, that's not girly. Like, it's things that are kind of like told by society that are girly or not. So it's not necessarily that it's restricted to women, but because it is like, oh, men can't have flowers, you're just allowing yourself to do the things that society is trying to tell you not to. So, you know, we're all about that. I'm always very much about people just doing things that make them happy, even though I'm demanding and mean and horrible. I'm actually doing you a favour though, you know, by degrading you. I'm allowing you to feel your emotions. I said this the other day, I was like, you know what? I'm actually helping people. I was like, so it's the whole thing. Controversial topic again. So a lot of people struggle with their own internalized homophobia, and this is why, like, encouraged bias and gay humiliation and whatever. So it's not actually that you're humiliating them for like their sexuality, but because they are not yet again like to grips with it, the only way that they can experience that is through being humiliated and made to. So I'm not standing there forcing them to go to gay bars, right? I'll be like, you should go to a gay bar and meet a guy tonight and I'm going to make you, right? And they go and do it on their own. But because it's taken some of the responsibility off of them, it allows them to have the freedom. So I'm doing you a favour. Look at me, Lara Sky, Public Service Person of the Year. Allowing people to experience their sexuality without any boundaries. Yay! But yeah, it is. I'm kind of joking about it, but it is genuinely, a lot of people struggle to do something when they have the pressure on. So if they can even say, okay, being told to do that, it takes that pressure off and it just allows them to experience it a bit. Obviously, please do it safely. Also, get tested. STI tests. Prep if you need prep. Okay? I'm not a doctor, but fucking get tested. Do it. Go for it. Make me happy. What are it? Half this video is going to be me looking for stuff. But yeah, I think that's another big thing to touch on actually, because what I notice is a lot of, especially men having sex with men, I don't want to say that you're not safe, but there is obviously a big fantasy around being used and all that sort of thing. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're exploring their sexuality and trying to keep it private and hidden, put themselves in dangerous situations because, you know, cruising is a thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily dangerous, but obviously there's the whole, if you don't know what cruising is, we're not going into that today. But yeah, there's a big culture of, you know, like people just leaving their doors unlocked and putting it on Grindr and being like, oh, just come and use me. So that whole thing, just try and take your safety as a priority, like your physical safety, your sexual health, your mental health, etc. So I am just using L'Oreal again. I just got all these in Boots or Superdrug, I think. I wanted more like a kind of peachy, pinky thing. I did actually have, I was trying to get a bright pink. I couldn't find one. So I'm just doing like, so how did that? That's like an old way to put makeup on. So there's different ways to do blush, depending how you want your face to go. So the kind of like way that a lot of people do it now is like a straight line across, which gives almost like a sunburnt look. This doesn't have a shimmer in it, so you can put it on like more of your face. So I'm kind of using it almost like underneath and going up. You can also like going down, just the way I'm doing it. So I am putting like a little bit more on than what I would maybe wear every day, but I am going to be under lights and my camera does kind of blur it. Shall we put some on my nose? Boop. That was so pointless. I love how I'm like, take care of your mental health, but my blush is like this. Anyway, nothing to do with sexual health, but heel safety. So when you start wearing high heels, which I'm assuming you will do. Oh, I nearly forgot to put these on. So when you start wearing your high heels, you want to make sure, if you can, that you're not wearing them on carpeted flooring. Normally what I would have done is curled my eyelashes, but I don't know where my eyelash curler is. and you have to curl your eyelashes before you put mascara on, unless you have a heated one, in which case it doesn't really matter. When you're wearing heels, you're going to have to be mindful of the height. Your balance point will be different if you're not used to wearing them, so I'll let that glue dry a little bit, then I'll do the mascara. So yeah, basically when you're wearing heels, so Pleasers are quite a good brand. They do different ones, so there's like Pleasers, Demonia, Fabulicious, is it? And then there's Pleaser Pink. There's Hella Heels, which are a different brand altogether, but they do stripper shoes. And then you will also find ones which are made for drag queens and for bigger feet. So normally, I think most heels, like stripper heel styles, go up to maybe like an 11. If you do have bigger feet, you're going to have to get the more specialist ones. The ones that are made, I know Pleaser, I'm going to call it Pleaser Pink, it might not be, they're made with a more reinforced heel because they're made for drag performers, and they're made for like a lot more jumping around. But Pleasers in general are quite sturdy, so the difference between going for shoes that are meant for strippers is that they will be kind of more reinforced generally than just a platform heel that you'll get in a shop, because they're made for more wear and tear. However, Pleaser's quality has gone down recently, so take from that what you will. But yeah, if you're wearing, say, like a 7-inch heel and you have a platform, your foot's going to be more flat in it, so it's going to be easier to walk than if you wear like a 4-inch heel that your foot's on the ground. So I don't actually have any heels here that I can show you that are like that. But yeah, just keep that in mind. I also think I should have put mascara on my eyelashes before I did the extension, and then after again. Fuck it. Whatever. Or like, it's all good. It's all fine. But yeah. So your heel safety, when you're getting used to them, obviously take it slow. I wouldn't necessarily say like you need to start with a low heel. Like, I would say sometimes platform heels can actually be easier to walk in than, like I say, a smaller heel that has more of a slope. So it is very much up to you what you want to do. Yeah, but just on carpet, be very careful. Yeah, take it slow. Obviously, when you're walking, you want to put more weight on your toes. Watch some videos about how to walk in heels. Just practice. Yeah, but platform heels are super easy to walk in, to run in. Obviously, like, dancers wear them all the time, so yeah, it's fine. And obviously to like fetish events and stuff, you can honestly, like, I've walked in 7-inch heels for like miles. Just don't walk on cobbles. There's one of the events in Edinburgh, they have to blur that word, TG. TG is always done in a venue that has cobbles. And the first time I went, I wore my big heels and I could not walk in them. Like, I kept falling over. It was so funny. But I had a sub with me who had flat shoes, so it was fine. Put them up. Right. Next, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on. So this has got like 2 parts. It's very well used. I might get a different highlighter actually next time. So I want a kind of more shiny. Sometimes I use like this brush. It's very light. But today I want more shiny. So I'm just tapping it in. A little bit on my nose. A little bit more back on here. And then, beautiful. So depending on your highlighter, I wouldn't do it with a super shiny one, but you can put it like on your brow and then like wherever the light would naturally hit you, but I would do that more if you were using like concealer. But that, watch somebody that knows how to do makeup, not me. Not me! I'm gonna rub this foundation on my lips and come back. Having foundation on your lips isn't always a bad thing because it can be like a little bit of a base, but I'm going to use this Clinique. That's what I get for talking. I'm going to use this Clinique Moisture Lip thing. It's so good. I had really, really dry lips in the winter, and I went into Boots and asked them like what I should use, and they gave me this, and ever since I have been addicted. It's so good. So you can use it as a lip gloss or as a lip treatment. So the look that I'm going to do today, I'm going to, trust me on this one. So you can put this over your lipstick underneath. I'm kind of going to do a lip treatment, and then I'm going to like let it settle, take off the excess, and then I'm going to put my lipstick on. So I should have probably done this at the start, but I didn't, because I'm talking to you guys. What were you saying? God. I don't feel like many of you watch my streams. I'm literally a streamer. I stream for hours every day. I don't know how I stream so much. I have internet issues just now. But like, I streamed like 4 or 5 hours a day for like 3 years. Except for Saturdays. But sometimes on a Saturday morning I would have breakfast on stream. I'm a maniac. Anyway, I could talk for hours. And hours and hours. Oh my god. What else do I need to do to my face? And nobody comment like take it off my screen, because that's mean. That's the kind of shit that I get on TikTok. Oh my god, is there anything else I need to talk about? Feminization. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more, but I'm gonna do my hair. Will I do my hair? Yeah, so my hair is just what I'm waiting on this. My hair's half damp, so what I'm gonna do, I'll do like a little bit on camera, but I'm gonna mute it for you because I'm gonna use my ear wrap and it's quite loud. But I'll just show you like how I would do it. So this was actually a gift from a sissy, which is very much appreciated. They actually purged, so they were being really good, and then they got a bit busy with work, and then they just disappeared, and then they came back and I was very bad to them. I gave them a punishment. Oh my god, it's so bad. I feel really bad still, like they were actually so nice. Please come back if you watch my content, please come back, I liked you. So yeah, I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to like, what was it I said? I think oh my god, I told them to use mayonnaise as lube, and then and then I was like, you're gonna have to like suck it off, like eat the mayonnaise. Like, I hate mayonnaise, I don't care. And then they had told me they'd done the task, and I was like, but you didn't send me proof. I was like, you're gonna have to do it again. And I think I actually broke them. I actually think I fucking broke them. Oh my goodness, that took so long. This is the longest it's taken me to get ready in forever. I might actually use my straighteners on the front bit. I like quite a natural look. So just like run my fingers through it. So the air wrap doesn't hold as much as a curler, just to give it like a little bit of a blow dry look. I probably will need to do this bit, just because it's shorter, it doesn't really get picked up as much. And then my lips have been hydrated, so I'm gonna go and wipe this off. So you could use this either as a lip gloss on its own, an overnight treatment sort of thing. It is very, very good. So I think you can see already, like my lips, even just having that on for like 10 minutes, they're already way more plump. What I could have done is put my lipstick over the top of this, and it would have given, it wouldn't really have held. It would have given quite a glossy look. So I'm going to use this colour Riche. This is 550. Unapologetic apparently. So you can tap it on, or you can just go for it. But this is when it's like quite likely to get on your teeth, especially if you've got quite a dark lipstick. A good one, this is the Lady Gaga one. I'm not going to take it out because it's like a liquid lipstick, but it dries into, like, I don't want to, it is almost like a film on your lips. It doesn't come off when you're eating or drinking unless you're having something oily, which is how you break this down, but it does not come off. So it's really annoying. I've got it in 2 shades. I do wear it quite a lot. They are very good. So if you ever see me wearing a red lipstick, it will be this one probably, because red is so bad for going on your teeth. But something like this, something quite natural. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to go and I'm going to pat it down, and then I'm going to put a gloss on top. So this one is a lip plumping one from Soap and Glory, but I think I'm going to use my lip oil today. I kind of prefer longer wearing lipsticks, lip gloss. When you see me filming, I do normally put a gloss over the top. Today I'm doing lip oil. I don't really think this is worth the money. This is a Dior one, and I actually prefer my Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I love this one. This one's in the shade Moon, and like it's quite a natural shade. I'm not going to put on because I'm doing the lip oil today, but I love this. So good. It's very shiny, but it's not a plumping one. They do a plumping one as well, but I don't like it as much actually. This one just kind of gives you like a pouty look without actually being, because it is very shiny and it really makes you look quite full. So I usually use this one even just during the day. I've gone through so many of these, by the way. I don't normally finish lipsticks, but this one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put like a little bit lip oil on. For like a really shiny look. So yeah, this is not my favourite, but I thought for today, go for something very, very glossy. I didn't want a shiny. Don't ask me why. Anyway, I think that's me ready. It's the longest I've ever gotten ready in so long. But yeah, your journey is your own. So obviously your girly journey, it's not really up to anyone to tell you what is or isn't girly. Obviously there's stereotypically girly things. As you're progressing, you'll obviously have some moments that you kind of doubt yourself. Like I say, just take the time, take a step back. You can always go back and forward. It's your own journey. You can't feel it your own journey, like I said at the start. So yeah, a lot of people kind of went, oh, you've got girly basics, what do I do now? And it's just building it up. It's making yourself more confident. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel happy? So like, I do think your environment plays a lot of that, but also I think getting to a point that you're comfortable enough to tell people and to actually express yourself how you want to. So it's not all about saying, oh, I wear like skirts, if you feel too unsafe to do that, but it is about saying to your friends, you know, I've really been enjoying like taking care of my skin, and you know, like if you want to see like some romantic comedy, or you know, like something that like it's at the cinema and you're like, I really want to go see it, go with your friends or don't, but just be more open about what's making you happy. But yeah, really the next steps of your girly journey are just incorporating it into your life. So becoming more feminine, becoming more girly, whatever that means to you, because there is obviously not one single way to do it, which is why I said, like, even if you're saying like cis woman, there's no single way that a cis woman presents or acts. I mean, obviously there are stereotypes, but not everyone is going to fit them. In fact, very, very few people will be whatever they're calling the ideal. So your femininity or masculinity is obviously separate from your gender and sexuality, which makes it quite fun to play with. You do different things, but the less that you hold on to this rigid view and this heteronormativity, did I say that right? Heteronormativity? You know what I'm trying to say. So when you're heteronormative, because I feel like this word is getting used more and more, right? So it is basically being the normal straight version. So heterosexuality, normative behaviour. So what is expected for a straight person is probably the easiest way to say it. I've probably given you the worst example ever. I mean, it is what it means, but look it up if you're not sure. But yeah, basically it just, heteronormativity is being like the normal version of a straight person. Yay! Who wants that? So it's what society tells you. So once you stop putting yourself so rigidly into what's expected of you, allowing yourself to reflect on what you want, what will make you happy, it will make your journey so much easier. But yeah, honestly, I feel like so many people, even if you don't want to wear makeup outside, if you don't feel comfortable like being more feminine with other people, honestly, just your hair and skincare and your nails. I mean, I'm the worst person to talk about this. I always have like messed up nails because I'm always doing stuff. I mean, latex as well. I don't wear nails because I hate putting latex on with nails on. But yeah, just taking care of yourself. Even just, you know, go and get yourself a pedicure. You don't need to get any colours on. Your manicure you can have done. They can just like either give you like the hand massage, push your cuticles back, get like shape up sort of thing. They could do a clear coat, they could just shine them, that sort of thing. It's just very nice to have time for yourself. Let yourself indulge in things. Don't be scared to do them. And also, if you do desire a person such as myself to guide you, I was going to threaten you there. But yeah, if you've made it to the end of the video and you want to subscribe to me, please do. Actually, if you've made it this far, why are you not subscribed, you maniac? Yeah, obviously I have other social media, I have paid platforms, and yeah, I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoyed watching me do my makeup. This video is ridiculously long. I bet my sign off's just me always being like,